So you want to start YouTube in 2025, but you're overwhelmed by gear recommendations from people with £10,000 camera setups. Yeah, I have been there. The good news, you don't need any of that these days. Hello folks, I'm Kev and I've been making YouTube videos full-time for nearly a decade across multiple channels. This is everything you need and nothing you don't to start your channel right away in 2025. And it is a lot cheaper than you think, because we can make this video into a tiny little TikTok, because ultimately you can start with your phone. Yeah, just your normal phone, the phone you've already got, iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. The cameras on modern phones are more than good enough to make YouTube videos with. But, and this is a big but, don't rely on the internal microphone, because unless you're able to eliminate all the background noise from your filming location and hold the phone pretty close to your face, which might not be ideal for the shot you're looking for, then the onboard mic is rubbish. So you are going to want to get yourself a Bluetooth microphone. Ideally, the DJI Mic 2. It sounds fantastic, has great noise cancelling and works flawlessly with your phone. But it is pretty expensive, as you'd expect from the best product of its kind on the market. So what if you can't afford that? Well, DJI themselves and Rode both have cheaper options available. In fact, you can get a DJI Mic Mini plus the receiver to plug it into your phone with for just £59 currently. And if you're on an Android phone, you might not even need the receiver. So you could get just the mic itself for less than £40. Failing that, pretty much any budget Bluetooth microphone is likely to be better than your phone mic. So just get the best that you can afford. And remember that if you can't get the fancy one now, you can always upgrade later. And you probably should be thinking in terms of getting what you can afford now, upgrade later. Nobody needs the best kit right from the start. My first videos years ago were all recorded using a £15 Logitech headset microphone stood in my garage. So yeah, you don't need the best kit. And I did touch on it before, but honestly, if you're filming indoors in a quiet space, you can probably get away just with the phone microphone. I do it myself for a lot of my TikToks and Instagram reels that I record from home, but that is your worst case scenario, not your goal setup. If you ever plan to film anywhere where you can't control the noise completely, and that could even just be a house that has other people living in, then you're probably going to need a microphone of some kind. And in fact, let's look at the gear that I use across my channels, both the 3 channels here I've got on YouTube, plus TikTok, plus Instagram. We'll look at what I actually use and then what I would get if I was starting again from scratch. If I lost all my gear, what would I actually go out and buy? What would I replace? So there's a few different types of video that I make for the spontaneous stuff, for TikToks, for sneaky filming when I'm hunting around the Lego store. I will just use my iPhone. It's much less conspicuous than any kind of camera would be. Everybody is always filming stuff and taking pictures on their phone, and I've never had a problem just walking around a shop like this filming, because most of the time people don't realize that I'm filming. One thing I do though is pair it with the DJI Mic 2 because of the noise cancelling. Most shops, I mean, you're not necessarily going to be filming in a shop, but I do a lot. And most shops or theme parks or busy public places have a lot of background noise, have music playing. This thing, I can just have it inside my top. It has a little magnet that allows it to connect, or there's a clip if you want to clip it on and let everyone know that you're wearing one, but that kind of defeats the object of being sneaky at that point. But this will block out all of that background noise and allow you to actually use your audio. Plus, it has the little fluffy bit on the top, which means if you are out and about, wind going across it isn't going to give you that whole noise you get from wind. One thing I would say, and this might just be because I'm in my 40s and don't understand why they're doing it, and these microphones are meant to be worn on your clothing. That's the kind of distance you should be aiming for with one of these microphones, and they work perfectly in that range. They are not designed to do this with. Not only does that make your audio sound blown out and actually decrease the quality of the microphone, but you also look like a Wally. You're not reporting live from the scene, boys and girls. This thing, you're not supposed to be able to see it. Don't be. What are you holding it like that for? You look like a plum. So that's my setup with my phone for my standard vlogs. So when you see me out and about on a travel trip, or if I'm recording something in my Lego city, then I'm using this. This is my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It's actually this size when it doesn't have the whole additional bit on it. So it's small enough to just fit in my pocket. It's made by the same company who make the microphone. So again, it can pair perfectly with this. So I can wear this, have it connect to this via Bluetooth, and then I have my tiny little camera with the nice big screen on the front, that because it's got the built-in gimbal means my footage is nice and smooth and not all shaky. Plus, at the touch of a button, you can change from having it facing away from you to facing towards you. So you can very easily switch back and forth between filming what you're looking at and filming yourself. It can film up to 4K, and it can also film in portrait mode. So you can use it for making TikToks, Instagram Reels, Shorts, that kind of thing as well. This is, without question, the best YouTube vlogging camera that has ever existed. If this had existed back when I was doing my daily vlog, I perhaps would have kept going with the daily vlog a little bit longer, because it fits in the pocket. It is a perfect thing. The battery life on it is a bit rubbish, which is why I have the additional battery thing that comes in the creator combo with the microphone and the camera and this little tripod that you can stand it on as well. And it is incredible. Value for money wise, quality you get out of it, it is the best, like I say, the best YouTube camera that has ever been made. That being said, I don't use it for these videos. That's why I was able to wave it around in front of you. For these videos, I do get fancy. And this is kind of legacy fancy. I don't know that I would do this. Now I'm in a world where that exists. I would potentially just mount one of those to the wall where I've got this camera mounted. But for my desk videos, for my gaming videos, I do use an expensive camera, a Canon EOS R. I've got an expensive lens on it, which is how we get this nice focus on my face and the nice blurry bokeh in the background. I use a Shure SM7B microphone. It is a nice studio professional quality microphone that is plumbed straight into an Elgato Wave XLR. I've got full studio lighting. I've got an Elgato Key Light there, and up there to act as a hair light to make me pop from my background a little bit more. And it is undoubtedly a beautiful shot. And I know people who don't understand what a good shot looks like will say, oh, Kev, you are a bit dark. Yeah, I'm supposed to be a bit dark. I don't want to look like I'm presenting CBeebies. I don't want full illumination. This is not amateur hour. This is a good shot. And I could only achieve this good shot with this setup. But you don't need this. And as mentioned, most people won't even appreciate it anyway. I think it's nice though, isn't it? And it makes Matt, the lovely gentleman who sets it all up for me, it makes him happy knowing that I look as handsome as I can. But like I say, you don't need a setup like this. This is just where I've ended up after 10 years of making gaming content, 200,000 subscribers. It's certainly not where I started out. It's just where I've ended up as I've constantly upgraded and I like tech. And I imagine there aren't even many YouTubers in my genre, my football manager genre, who have a setup quite as expensive as mine, because most people are not buffoons the way I am. I like spending money on toys. So they're fun toys, but you don't need them. I mentioned I'd tell you what I would buy if I were just starting out again from scratch. And honestly, I would just get this. This is the DJI Osmo Pocket Creator Combo. So like I said before, it gives you the camera, you get the battery, you get the tripod, you get the microphone, you get a case to carry it around in, and it all packages down nice and small. You can just sling it in a backpack. And yeah, I'll say it again, it's the best vlogging camera that's ever been made. It's small, light, it's so easy to use, makes everything look good, makes everything sound good. And it is now all I take with me when I'm traveling. It's such a massive difference from where I was even a year or two ago, when I was making the best thing from videos and flew over to Barcelona, flew over to Turin. I would have my luggage and an entire backpack just full of the recording gear that I would need for that trip. I would have cables everywhere. The other thing that's worth mentioning about this is it all just charges by USB-C. I don't need to take a bunch of battery chargers, battery packs, fancy cables. It's all just so much easier. And much cheaper than the big fancy setup that I used to have as well. So I'm not exaggerating when I say I probably spent over £10,000 during my daily vlogging days on replacement camera bodies, lenses, gorilla pods, microphones. It was like Trigger's broom. I used the same camera all the way through. I just tried 3 different bodies, 5 different lenses, 12 different tripods, 5 different microphones. You know, everything was changing all the time. And yeah, it was expensive. It was unwieldy. It was heavy, and it wasn't even as good. The video quality wasn't as good. The audio quality wasn't as good. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough about the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. It is perfect. I love it. All that being said, it is still like the best part of £600, I think, to get the full creator combo. So if you are on a budget, don't just go out and blow money on that, because I'm telling you how great it is. I will remind you again, your phone is probably fine. So if you are on a budget, you should always prioritize sound first, then lighting. Sometimes people will say lighting ahead of sound. I would say sound you need some kit for. Lighting you can do for free. So I would prioritize sound, then lighting, and then only once you've got those 2 sorted, worry about the actual camera quality. Because a decent microphone will make your video sound professional, which most viewers care about way more than crisp visuals. Think about if you're doom scrolling through TikTok or Instagram, it's full of faceless content or Subway Surfers nonsense with somebody talking over the top, or horrible grainy footage. But if the content's good, it doesn't really matter, and you will stick around for a bit and listen to what, or I do anyway, listen to Reddit stories. But if a video comes up with horrible background noise, or you can barely make out what's being said, you will just scroll on immediately. Audio is more important than video. So that's where your money should be going. And on the topic of lighting, good lighting will make even your phone footage look 10 times better. But I'm not saying you need to spend loads of money on lights like what I've got straight away. Just putting yourself so you're facing a window, or even just filming outside, will be enough. I really can't emphasize enough, if you only buy one thing to start your YouTube channel, it should be a microphone, not lights. And it is worth noting, you do not need a DSLR in 2025. I'm going to say that again, because I think it is important, and I think people will still ignore me because, like me, they'll want to buy tech. But you do not need a DSLR to run a YouTube channel in 2025 at any point, no matter what size your channel is. You do not need one. And that's coming from someone who, like I say, did used to lug around the full Casey Neistat rig, the Canon 80D, 90D, whatever it was at the time, the DSLR, the Rode shotgun mic sat on top of it with the big dead cat, the gorilla pod that would last maybe 3 weeks before you'd have to replace it and get a new one because they were rubbish. And like I say, spent thousands replacing it. The Pocket 3 does everything that did, better than that does it, fits in your pocket, and is much more budget friendly and more durable. We've talked on the channel about how I did have to buy a replacement one recently, but I'd had the previous one like 2 years. I'm only on my second one of those. And I did just have to replace the camera. The microphones are still fine. And the camera itself, eventually, I mean, the broken one is here. Eventually, I will send it away for repair. It is covered, so I will get that on repair, and then I'll have 2. So I really should do that. Someone remind me to send. I'm writing that down. That's going in my bullet journal. Send camera for repair. Because I just keep forgetting to do it. Another thing to note, avoid ring lights. They're cheap and harsh and rubbish, and you have that stupid circle on your eyes or on your glasses. I don't even bother. You're better off just standing in front of a window than using a ring light. If you can, if you've got money to burn, 3-point lighting is the way to go. Like I say, boom, boom, boom. They're all Elgato Key Lights, and they are great, but you can get away with just filming near a big window or outside. Yeah, don't spend loads of money that you don't need to spend. So to really clarify what I would do if I was starting again from scratch, buy the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 Creator Bundle and a cheap lighting setup. That's it. That and your phone is all you need to start a great channel. And I wouldn't spend another penny on gear, at least until the channel is monetized and you've made enough to start reinvesting your profit. The only thing that would come out of pocket for me if I was starting again from zero is that Creator Combo DJI and some lights. That's it. I've dropped Amazon links for the DJI stuff and the lights that I use down in the description below. They are affiliate links, so using them will help support the channel and no extra cost to you. So big thank you if you choose to do that. And if this video has helped, let me know down in the comments or tell me what gear you're using or thinking about buying. And if you are new here, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, do all that other good stuff. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time, and toodle pip.